Time for round 2 of this week's edition of Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. Fighting for the number 2 spot in our Final Four. It's Boylan versus Galena. Boylan has 80 points. Galena has 10. We'll get to our volleyball round, brought to you by Rock Valley College now. Remember, this is a conferring round. You can discuss these questions, but I only need to hear from the captain. So on Boylan, that will be William. Galena, that's Evelyn. We had a coin flip. Boylan has elected to go first in our next round, which is lightning, which means our first question here in the volleyball round, brought to you by Rock Valley College, will go to Galena. Evelyn, are you and the team ready? Yep. Here's your first question in this week's volleyball round. The naive Prince Mishkin tries to navigate 19th century Russian society in what author's novel, The Idiot?
Chekhov.
Incorrect. Good guess. He's probably best known for Crime and Punishment, though. This is Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky. No points. New question for Boylan. What author's story collection, Go Down Moses, which includes his novella about a bear named Old Ben, is set in the fictional Yoknapatawpha County?
Faulkner.
Faulkner, correct. 10 points with confidence, William. New question, Galena. What king defeated in the English Civil War was executed in January 1649?
Henry IV.
No, it was Charles I. No points and a new question for Boylan. What city, which was incorporated on the Buffalo Bayou in 1837, is home to the Johnson Space Center and is the most populous city in Texas?
Houston.
Correct. You probably could narrow that down to 2, but Johnson Space Center may have helped. 10 points, Boylan. Galena, new question. Conservation of energy is the first law of what branch of physics which states that a closed system can't have decreasing entropy in its second law?
Thermodynamics.
Thermodynamics, correct, sure. 10 points, Galena. Good job. New question for Boylan. In what film do Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman star as 2 Washington Post reporters who break the Watergate scandal?
The Post.
Incorrect. That was All the President's Men. Robert Redford, Dustin Hoffman, 1977 movie. No points. New question, Galena. What tool, often used to make axisymmetric items like baseball bats, is a woodworking machine that rapidly spins a workpiece along its axis of rotation?
Chainsaw.
Kind of a tough manufacturing question there. It's a lathe. That's the tool. No points. New question for Boylan. What type of market structure, which can act like a monopoly when collusion occurs, exists when a small group of firms dominate a market?
Oligopoly.
Oligopoly, correct. 10 points, Boylan. Galena. What author described Hans Castorp's love for Claudia Chauchat in an alpine sanatorium in the Magic Mountain, and also wrote the novel Dr. Faustus?
Marlowe.
Incorrect. Thomas Mann. It's the retelling of the original Faust story. No points. Boylan. The trickster gods Iktomi and Anansi both commonly appear in the form of what small animal into which Athena transformed the weaver Arachne?
Spider.
Spider, correct. It would help if you knew that spiders were arachnids. Maybe you didn't need that. Maybe it helped, but it's 10 points for you. Galena. A woody plant sacrifices herself so that a boy can build things like a house and a boat in what story by Shel Silverstein?
The Giving Tree.
The Giving Tree, correct. Once there was a tree and she loved a little boy. Great line from that book. That's 10 points for you, Galena, and that's all the time we have in the round. So after our volleyball round brought to you by Rock Valley College, it's a 90-point swing. Boylan has 120, Galena has 30. We're at the halfway point, and we'll come back with more questions after this, but first a question for you at home. We call it the Bergstrom bonus question. See if you know the answer in just a couple of minutes.
In 1979, the worst American nuclear disaster in history resulted from a partial reactor meltdown at which power plant?